There we are.
Here we are. There we are. There they are.
Hello, everyone.
Wah, wah.
Happy Monday. It is hotter than hell in New Jersey. Hello, Nicole, Celine, Karen, Cheryl, Bubba Drew, Georgiana. How's everyone doing? Brian Raleigh, how are you, my friend? Laura Carroll, how are you? It is hotter than hell in New Jersey. Oh, almost 100 degrees today and hotter tomorrow. Hot. Hello, Celine, Donna Schultz, Karen.
That kind of hot?
If that helps you. Kathy.
It doesn't.
John McGinnis, how you doing? Trisha Ann. Hello. Yeah. What's up, George? How's it going? It's hot, man. Really hot. Hello, Christine. Hey, Kevin.
We had a weekend. That's what we had.
That's her way. That's contributing. That's her trying to set the narrative in a way that 108 here in Maryland. My God, John McGinnis. That is hot.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, man. I'm ready for the fall. I don't know about you guys.
Lemonade.
I know summer just started, but I am ready for fall.
Hey, Ann.
Give me like
that's right.
65 degrees, 70 degrees.
It's hot. Hotty.
Give me getting dark earlier. I like all that stuff. I'm too old for the summer. Your son went camping and husband is Indiana. Oh, Celine.
Don't you have your doggies? Where's your babies, Selena? Where's your little fur babies? They're not keeping you company? Did I throw you off?
Are you done?
No, I'm never done.
Feels like the temperature. Yeah, it's real hot. But anyway, been a long day, busy day.
It's an understatement.
Yeah, man, it is just one of those things, man, where it's just like lots of stuff going on. Walter, my
Nikki,
my little boy, my dog child. We're still dealing with stuff with him. He's got to go back in for another ultrasound because he's got some liver issues. So they're going to check if there's cancer in the liver, which I pray to God there's not. So more stuff with Walter today. Had to run him to the vet. So more going on. Anyway, we did have an event on Saturday night at the mine with Dalen from Ghost Brothers and Graveyard Shift. Um, Dalen is he's another one like the rest of those guys. We met all those guys for years now with the expo, and they're just they're entertaining guys, man. They are. I give them props for that. They know how to tell a story. They know how to interact with people. They're, you know, they're real approachable. I mean, approachable isn't the word. They're just good to people. You know, like I said, funny. You know, tell some funny stories, and really first time being able to hang out with Dalen for a little bit, and he, you know, he enjoyed himself. Liked the way we do things as far as the event. The event was a really fast event because you know a lot of places go into when you're at the mine, not just the mine itself, but the surrounding buildings as well. The meet and greet went really well. A lot of questions. He told a lot of stories about graveyard shift that were more than what he covered on the interview with us. He told some other stories as well.
Wasn't that like he kind of talked about how like everything evolved for him? Like he didn't know what to do with himself after the show, and then somehow this kind of presented itself on its own. Like he didn't look for this. This just kind of.
About that during the interview.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it was like the way he was talking about it there, just the way that he said it was like, you know, I don't know. It just seemed to be it just kind of hit you more when you were sitting there listening to, because some of the stories that he told at the meet and greet were, they were quite eye opening. You know. Why do you look at me like that, man? Every time I open my mouth, you look at me like I'm some nut job that you just pulled off the
hearing
street.
things for the first time.
No, I mean he did on the live, but I'm saying at the mine he was telling other stories, and they were really deep rooted, heartbreaking, rip your gut out, leave on the floor stories.
No, I mean we'll get into that a little later. Um, we didn't really come back on after that interview. I think we didn't come back on Friday. I think we didn't come back on at all last week after the Dalen interview. I don't think we did, but I'm not sure.
We came back. We came back on one day, but I just don't remember when. There's just been so much.
How present he was during the investigation. Yeah. Didn't play the celebrity
card
at all.
You're right, Deb. He didn't.
That's what
He was down to earth.
That's what we kind of look for when we you know, all the years of doing this and all the people that we've been with on events, and there's been a lot of them. You know, different people approach things different ways, and we appreciate the ones that are kind of engaged. And yeah, that's a good word, present, Deb. We appreciate people that do that because we like to feel like that's the way that we are every time, or try to be anyway.
He really liked
everybody's
different aspect of doing things. Like he was, you know, like some people come at you like, no, this is the way you do it, or no, well, this is, you know, I prefer to do it this way, and like, you know, this is how we're going to do it. He literally, when he was in the group, he was really engaged with what everybody brought to the table.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Like I said,
hey sis,
I enjoy being with people like that, and like you said, Jawan's like that too. To be honest with you, we've done 2 events with Jawan, and Jawan doesn't.
Oh no, Jawan jumps right in.
Celebrity.
Nope.
Guy, and either John Zappas too. I know that John, you know, hasn't been on TV in a while, but John's in there.
He's engaged,
and John really is enjoying it as much as everybody else. When the stuff starts happening, and he's getting activity, John really enjoys it. You can tell, even, you know, many years as he's been doing it, as much as he's seen. But Dalen, yeah, I that's a good word. I like I said, present is definitely the right word. Dalen was, and even at the end of the night, he didn't want to leave. He wasn't in his car and out of there. He stuck around, and we were the ones who were actually like, hey, look, you know, there's people that volunteer here. They gotta go. Yeah, they gotta lock the gates. They gotta lock the buildings. We need to get out of the parking lot.
He was really fascinated with the place, and
so he wasn't in a hurry to go at all, which was really cool.
The last group that he was in, it was so funny. There's if you've been in the mine, there's a back part where there's a spring, and We just finished doing an isolation session, and I went down to get him. And as we're coming back up, I had said to him, "What did you feel? What did you get?" He says, "Well, one, I got to tell you, it was very tranquil. It was very peaceful." He goes, "But having said that, I heard footsteps, and mind you, I'm the rest of the group is so far away, it's not possible to hear us." And he said, "I heard footsteps, like they were walking on either side of where he was for the isolation." And he says, but it wasn't intimidating. It was like curious. They were like, either continuing to work or they were checking him out. Don't know what it was, but you definitely could tell that there was presence there. And it wasn't until we were walking back up, we both heard something live with our ears right behind us. We were walking away, and so much so we turned around to see if somebody was there. And then he turned to me and he goes, "If you weren't here, I would actually be very intimidated right now because I did you feel that?" And I said, "You just felt something rush up on you, didn't?" And he goes, "I sure did." And I said, "That is very common here. It's happened to a lot of people. You'll be here in the dark and you'll feel like something just runs right up on you and hits you." And he did. He turned around like he expected to see somebody standing right there. Yeah. That's how intense it was. And that was the type of stuff that was going on in the mine.
Hey, Gina. No, yeah, we do appreciate people that are present and join in the investigation. That's why, with me, when we do those things, I mean, you guys are there for the behind the scenes stuff, but I'm, literally, we present it to them as, hey, this is what we do and what we do all the time and how we do it. But if you want to take the group and lead the group and do what you do, then by all means, you do that, because the people are here to be with you. I mean, they could come to our events any other time. They're here because you're here, which, so I know if it were me, paying, I would want to investigate with the guy who I was paying to be there with. But yeah, like I said, we had some stuff in. I'm always in the office, and we had, again, the only group I had didn't have a lot of activity or more activity was Dalen's group, which was kind of weird. All the other groups, we had stuff, got good EVPs, we had good interaction. Um, but when Dalen was in there, I think that it was quieter, but there was stuff, but it wasn't nearly what the stuff was before that. And um, he uses two different things. He uses two different kind of apps. One app is the actual spirit box. It's called the Sono. You could look it up on Apple Store or whatever. And it's the spirit box without radio interference, without the static and without the white noise and all that. And it's still scanning the frequencies. You just don't get all that noise and white noise with it. So he uses that, and I think that's what he uses on Graveyard Shift for the most part, and another app as well. So when he was in my area, I'm like, well, if this is what you're taking and using, out doing your graveyard shift and with people, you have them with at the cemetery, then use it here. There's all these miners here. Let's see what we get. Yeah. And the running theme for the night was, it wasn't all night, but it was kind of throughout the different areas and it's weird how that happens. Children.
Oh yeah, we had it in the mine.
We first, when Chris and I and Danielle were doing the ghost walk last month, we went in this one particular area of the mine, and we were getting children responding, and we were commenting to each other like, this is weird. We don't get a lot of children in the mine year after year after year. And then this time with Dalen, there were more children.
It was crazy.
And we were like, how does this happen after 6 years of being here? And we heard the story from Tyler, who's works at the mine, and Randall. I think Randall was the one who said it, is that way back when, if the father couldn't work, the kid would sometimes go to work
To
because the
keep the
family
check,
needed the
they needed
money.
it.
Yeah, that
I
and
do, Gina.
the kid would hold doors, or they would carry stuff, or they weren't like jackhammering or whatever, but they were working
Yeah, they
to
were
make
doing
up
they
that
were doing
money.
labors. Real quick before we go even further, I want to thank Brian and Ann and Taylor for coming in and helping us tremendously that night. We really, really appreciate you guys. Is there a sock hop happening tonight?
Well, Cody, not on Monday. Some folks don't have the sock hops on Monday nights, Cody.
I'm actually barefoot
We
tonight.
are going to schedule one of those for sure.
Maybe on the reunion.
I want to do that for one of the VIP parties, but she's doing the
Ooh.
costume party. But
That's Friday.
it would be funny if we just organized a sock hop for one of the VIP parties. Which
Deb was asking, does anyone know the Android app he mentioned? It was Nick or
Necro
something.
Necro. God, I have it on my phone. My phone is right there. But I mean, I believe that. Well, first let me finish my thought about the mine and the event itself. I really enjoy about the paranormal and the things that we do how predictability is not a word that you could use when investigating the paranormal. Yes, you're right, Cody. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. You might not be right. I don't know. But predictability is not something you could use. We've been in buildings multiple times, and that's the one, John McGinnis. Um, we've been in buildings multiple times, and yes, there have been a string of years or times or that we're communicating with the same people. We believe in the same spots, and then all of a sudden, bam! Here's somebody new. That happened to me at Innskeep. That happened to me at Camp Evans, and now it just happened at the mine. Children, for the first time ever. Children.
But
where were they the last 6 years?
Well, okay. Well, let's try to think this in theory. Could it be that for whatever reason there was somebody within the group that triggered it for the night of the different people that were attending? Could it have been that it was the perfect timing for whatever happened in the mine at a certain time and we were there in that moment where it correlated with that time frame for the children to come out? Was it something that we did different or else because we did do different experiments that maybe brought them forth that we haven't done before?
Any and all. I mean, okay, it's 2025. Okay, let's say hypothetically 1925, around this month and this month, like you said, something happened that who knows? You don't know. But I enjoy that part of it a lot. And it's so surprising when it happens that, and you know, that here you can't just take it for granted. So
was anybody on now that was in the group where we heard that growl moan that came really loud? I mean, it was loud out of the mine, right out of that little corner that we get tucked in. I told you where that little aggressive miner is.
Yeah.
And then we had that, and I call him aggressive miner for better because that's who worked in the mine. So I'm assuming it's a miner that was in there that's doing this. So we're in there, we're doing an EVP session, we're getting some reaction. All of a sudden you hear, and everybody heard it, not on the recorder, although it was on the recorder when we played it back, but live you heard this, oh, on the camera, and we all just stopped and looked at each other like, what was that and why? Like, was that someone who had been injured? Was that someone who was trying to intimidate us? Was it one of the miners playing? Because they do like to pull pranks. I get pranks pulled on me all the time by something I can't see in there. So I'm curious that what all of a sudden, I mean, it wasn't like you heard that little, it was loud.
No, we heard it was like a whine and then like a, you know how, again, people that snore, and I know because I'm one of them, I sometimes wake myself up with the, we heard a whine and everybody was like, hey, if this is the room where people were sleeping, yeah, and maybe we were like, hey,
or maybe Spirit's telling you that's what this room is for.
It was weird. It was weird. But again, good night. And again, Galen, Dalen was really cool, and he wants to come back and do some other stuff with us, maybe next month, or we're talking about doing some stuff that's not really event related, but other stuff. But again, at the end of the night, some in the past are like, "Hey, event's over. Get in my car because it's late. It's 12:30 or
and
whatever."
he's got to
And
get up early to
yeah,
get to the airport.
but Dalen didn't want to do that. Dalen was like, "Hey, everybody." He was like, "God, you guys are like saying we got to go. Everybody got to go." Yeah, because there are people volunteering that. So anyway, um, I was tired. We finished at midnight. By the time we wrap everything up and get out of the parking lot and we talk and everything, it's like 12:30, 12:45, and I had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I purposely said, Cody, if you're watching, you know about this place. Um, they wanted to go to the Morristown Diner, the only 24-hour diner that's around. When I say around, it's halfway between the mine and home. So I knew if we went there, we weren't getting home till 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, easy. So I said, no mind. We're just gonna go to Quick Check, get our little biscuit egg sandwiches, and that's it. So we go there, and we still didn't leave there till 2:30.
Best laid plans, blowing us under.
And man, I didn't get in the shower till 4. I didn't go to bed till 4:35, 4:45. I slept for 2 hours because they want to hang and whatever. I wanted to go to sleep, man. But no.
Well, Anne deserves a trophy because she went way and above and beyond on helping, and she helped an individual getting in and out of the.
Well, what about Tanya? You're not going to give Tanya?
I'm not there yet. Let me get to that next. But Anne, I appreciate you helped me so much, so much. I wouldn't have been able to do what I did that night if it was not for you. So I want to not only did I would I tell you this to your face, I want to let everybody know it too. And another thing, Tanya. Tanya deserves a lot of credit. That woman stepped up and helped somebody in ways that I physically could not. And she's hurting, she's sore today and yesterday and again. It's because she had a big heart in what she did for someone and a lot of gratitude for what Tanya did because Tanya did not have to do it and she stepped up. So Tanya and Ann, you both deserve big kudos for what you guys did.
Oh man, we got them all watching.
That's
Dustin
pretty
Perry
cool,
watching as
Dustin.
well. Dustin, it's been a while since you've been on too, man. You got to come on.
You got to bring him on.
Dustin, you got to come on. Dustin got good and caffeined up when he was at the mine. He was eating like snowballs and washing it down with a Mountain Dew. Hey, Dustin, I thought I was a sugar nut. Man, Dustin's got me beat by a mile. I mean, I'm drinking these bad boys now. These are the caffeine. But man, we got them all watching tonight. So, no, Dustin, we got to have you back on. But anyway, it was a good night.
Tanya does, John.
And it was a fun night. And the group of people, nothing is better for a paranormal event than having people that want to be at the event. When I say that, I mean, we've been doing this for many, many years. At many, many different places. And, you get, of course, those skeptics are out there, and I don't blame them. They haven't experienced it, so they believe what they believe. Or you get the men or the women that are dragged by their significant other because they love the paranormal and yet they don't. So they the whole time with their arms crossed and they're looking at you. But this was an entire group of people that really wanted to be part of it and really wanted to do it. And again, it makes it so much funner for me, and I think for everyone when you get that kind of vibe and those kind of people together because you know what I mean? I think the energy's there. Everybody's willing. Everybody's open. Everyone's trying to communicate, and hopefully it happens. And there for me, the theme of the night in the basement anyway was younger women, the younger females. You know me, I'm horrible with names. It was Emily. I think her name was Lizzie, and I can't remember the other. It was another E. but they were younger, kind of, they were all in their 20s. I say younger for me, mid to late 20s, but they were all catalysts for the guys that were
Oh, I think I know who
the
you're
guy
talking
that was
about, but I
there.
can't remember her name off the
And
top of
really,
my
really
head.
cool. I mean, good experiences right by that
She
hatch.
came right out of your section and she came up to the parking lot and she was telling me what happened to them when they were down in
Yeah.
that bottom area and they dangled their feet. And the young girl goes,
And
I put my feet right over the thing and I'm like, you're nuts, because
And-
I wouldn't do it.
Bob or Rob, who's like 9'4",
Oh, he is so awesome.
would not go near that hatch. So I'll tell you something funny that happened. Deb, if you're watching, you probably remember this. So I believe his name was Rob. Rob is tall.
He wore the yellow helmet.
Yeah, he's
minor helmet.
Rob's a tall guy, and he's really into it. He was really into meeting Dalen, and he's been to the mine before. And he just kept saying, we're down in the basement. We're leaving. He's like, you know, if any negativity that's here or any bad energy or anything like that, you are not allowed to follow me. You're not allowed. You stay here. You're not allowed to follow me. So they're walking by me, and Deb, who I've known for years, looked at me. I said, Deb, he's talking about you, right? It was too easy. I couldn't just leave that there.
And she didn't hit you?
Oh, Deb laughed. She but I thought it was just too easy. He just set it up for me, and I couldn't help it. But
Deb, you're on here.
she's there. Yeah.
You and Nikki could please send me your mailing addresses. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm sending out thank you cards for everything you guys did.
But
I would like to send.
But everybody that showed up, thank you for coming. It was a good time, and it's because of people like you and you guys that are there, who are there, that make it enjoyable. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, we love doing what we're doing. We go into these buildings and we have a good time, and we love investigating the paranormal. We love the interaction, the different things that happen. But when you're with a group of people that are really into it, it makes it so much cooler. You know what I mean? And we like having the ability to bring in people like Dalen and Jawan and Steve and Dustin and Cody and Satori and John Zappis.
You get to because the groups that we do it in are small enough where you get to do one-on-one sessions with him. And real quick, Teresa, before your name disappears and I forget, if you would also send me your address, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, think about where you're going and you get 5 minutes to say hi, how are you, take a picture, and you move on. But when you're in that ghost hunt and it's 6 people in that group that you're with and you're with them, that gives you that ability to have that one-on-one for that time that you're in that area that you normally don't get. Besides the meet and greet, I mean, he spoke to everybody and answered all their questions.
Yeah, it was, but again, back to the whole app thing. Now John Zappis uses the Echo Box, and I've used that. And again, the theory behind the Echo Box is that it's phonics. There are no words. There's sounds that, in theory, the spirits can manipulate and kind of put together to make words. Necrophonics, I've used it. I don't particularly care for it personally. Spirit Talker, same thing. I don't particularly care for that either because, again, my personal preference. I'm not saying it's wrong if you use what you use, and people would say what I use is wrong. So
I think it's like anything else. If somebody likes spaghetti or if somebody likes,
but it's not.
I mean,
you're saying that, but
I'm just saying what a preference is. Everybody has a different
it's preference, way. But for me, Spirit Talker spits out 10 words, and looking for the one word of relevancy in the 10 words is not for me. But and the Necrophonic, I did use it, and I really didn't like it that much. For me, it seemed like even like the voices manipulated, so it's kind of creepy and scary type of thing. So really didn't work for me. Now the Spirit Box, yes, it's an app, but it is scanning the radio frequency. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a word bank. It really is scanning the radio frequencies, AM, FM. I don't know. If you buy the Pro one, it's forward and reverse and things like that. It just cuts down on the and the white noise. So the thing with the Spirit Box in general, if you were to ever, yes, I agree, Deb. The thing with the Spirit Box in general, I don't whether it's the app or the Spirit Box itself, SB7, SB7 Pro, is it's no different than Echovox in that you have to sort of train your ear to listen to know what it's doing. There are so many people who, if I put headphones on you and let you do the Estee method like you see on TV, if you've never done it before yourself or whatever, um, you're gonna hear it's radio. You're gonna hear radio bleed through. It's coming. It's gonna be there. But you're listening for again. I always say like you're the filter. You're hearing what you're supposed to hear, and the words that really kind of you hear clear and you just blurt out. You're kind of meant to hear, and you wouldn't know the relevancy based on the person asking the questions, whether or not they are relevant or it's just some random stuff. So in the app that he uses is no it's a lot like Echovox. Echovox is fast and there are a lot of words that unless you know and you listen and you've done it before, you're gonna miss a lot. And that app he uses is sort of like that, where he's done it so much. And if you're ever with John Zappis, you'll notice the same thing. John will put that Echovox on and be like, Frank, yeah, the yard. What about the yard? The door. And you're hearing all this other stuff, but he's picking out words.
Well, it's like EVPs when people are listening to EVPs. When we have someone that's never listened to a playback on an EVP, they don't catch it. But when you do it a lot, you do pick up on it.
It is, but it isn't. EVP is different in the sense that
but I'm talking about training your ear to hear.
Yeah, but it's two different things. Your EVP is you're listening to a whisper in a lot of cases, or a voice in the background behind things.
But the more you do it, the more you understand. Like it's clearer to hear. You don't think so?
I agree with that point, but that's not part of the point that I'm making. So, no, it's not like EVP. In a sense, it is because you're training yourself to hear whispers.
Potato.
No, not potato. Spirit Box is, if there are relevant words, especially in the app like he's using, they're in between a bunch of stuff. There is no EVP in between a bunch of stuff.
So you got to cut out the fat to get the juicy piece.
Oh yeah. I mean, you'll get there eventually. Go ahead. I'll wait until you get there.
Come on.
Please.
No, because obviously the way I say it is not.
Because you're wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Period. So
educate me.
Thank you. I'm trying, but you just keep interjecting. With Spirit Box, with Echovox, you're listening for the in-between. And a lot of people, first time out, second time out, even if they've been doing it, it's hard to hear that word. Because, again, he's using it all the time, and he's in cemeteries, and he's with families. So a lot of the stuff, it's going to go right past you because you're so intent on listening for every word that you're going to miss the word that's in there.
I agree.
You know?
I get what you're
saying.
So
it's almost like it's equivalent to, in my brain, remember those 3D paintings a long time ago where you had to sort of unfocus your eyes to look at the picture? That's what it's kind of like. It's like there's so much coming because it is radio, it is Echovox, is constant phonics that you sometimes miss. There are so many times where I rewatch a video, Echovox especially, and Spirit Box, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even know it said that. That word was in there, and I missed it because live, whoop, there it went. And more words came after that. But the relevancy, it was there. So I understand where, again, people are experiencing that for maybe the first time or the second time, and they're missing. But there was stuff that I heard that he didn't.
So you having said that,
I know it's not like EVP.
No, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna do this for the first time or whatever. What would be your suggestion to a person doing this? How they can open up themselves to be able to catch that they're instead of trying to listen to every single word. What
No, you've got to get used to it. You've got to have done it a
but
few
but
times.
you did say that you get caught in listening to every word that you end up missing.
Yeah, and it's hard to do the first time and the second time because there's so
So I'm
much.
asking you, what would be your
I'm
suggestion?
saying you have to do it. You have to use it.
That's it. Just keep doing it.
I mean, I record. You'll see, I do Spirit Box EVP sessions because I know there's stuff that I'm missing. You've seen it. I do it from the Creeper
So
Gallery.
you would
I literally rewind and go back
You
and
do.
think, oh
You
crap,
do.
I didn't hear that.
So you would
I didn't hear that because it's real time. It's coming faster, and there is stuff in there that is radio non-relevant stuff.
So you wouldn't suggest of when you're doing it, just just relax, breathe, and just
No, not a
try to
crap.
just like it's not crap.
Yeah. Well, relax, breathe, chant to
And
your
just
Buddha.
no, I didn't say chant. I
Do
didn't say
your,
chant. I
you
didn't say
know.
meditate. I didn't say any of that stuff. You said it.
There is again.
I'm
It's
just saying you need to relax and just kind of don't force it. And if something's relevant, then it'll come forth what you're supposed to hear. Some people try too hard. I always love it when he just like he goes, I don't like what you're saying. It doesn't resonate
I
with
just
me.
let you say it, man. That's your opinion.
Do you get
That's
this?
your
I
opinion.
just let you say it. It's wrong, but I let you say it. No, it's not wrong. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Yep.
I know I'm different. I'm proud of it.
Everyone's different. You're
No,
right.
but I'm just
You
saying.
are right.
Sometimes these things work, and again, taking a second just to take a deep breath, reset yourself, and put this on and listening and not trying so hard, actually, you'll find yourself, it's like relaxing your brain. You'll start to hear what you're supposed to hear. That's how I do it.
I agree. Yep.
You better.
I agree 100%.
Hello, Ann. Hello, everybody that's coming on.
Please just disregard all of that. Um, there are certain spirit boxes out there that are designed to, hey Taylor, to filter out the white noise, the and it adds reverb and echo to the word so that only a clear word will come through. And those are great boxes. I mean, if they work and they work great, that those are really good boxes. They're no different than the other
Hi, Susan.
the other the app or anything like that. The app, there's no filter. There's no filter for anything. There's no reverb. There's no echo. The words are coming through in rapid succession,
Yeah.
one after the other, because it literally is just going up and down the dial. That's what it's doing.
Okay, but
Up and down the dial. Now those other spirit
hey,
boxes,
Dana.
like I said, there's a delay, there's a reverb, and there's an echo, so that they filter out all that white noise so that you just get a word or two words.
I'm going to throw you
So
up.
easier to hear. But if you're using it without those pedals and those filters, you're just getting right down the dial.
Right, you're just getting
forth,
it back
with
back and
no
forth.
kind of filter or anything. Just
So-
boom.
When you're under and someone is
So
asking, can I finish?
if you put your fingers together and you chant and you
put my
before,
fingers somewhere.
you will definitely enhance your.
Fingers are gonna go somewhere. But anyways, so if somebody is sitting and they got the headphones on and they're listening to this, and you're saying they're getting all these words, but they're missing, they're missing, the right one. So that's.
I'm not saying they're missing anything. I'm saying the potential's there if they haven't done it before and really know
So
what
saying,
they're looking for.
Okay, but that's the key. That's the key. Because if somebody's asking a question from somewhere else and you're not hearing it, how do you know what the right word is? Whatever you're hearing very clearly?
No, I'm saying that if you have a rapid succession of words, there are people that are just going to say, what? I'm hearing a lot. How many times have you heard that? I'm just hearing a lot of stuff. I'm hearing male and female. I'm just hearing a lot of things and whatever. Because, yes, that's the way it sounds. It's supposed to. That's the way it works.
And I'm saying, how do you pull the one word or the sentence or whatever the message needs to be delivered. How do you pull that out of that? If there's so much stuff. All right. So if I'm saying
it's through repetition,
so,
it's through being exposed
I
to
know,
it
I
and
get,
doing
listen,
it.
listen.
How many times I got to say this?
No, listen. I'm going to do an
Or
example.
getting yourself a spirit box that
Listen.
filters everything out.
Listen for a minute. If I say,
okay, it's
no,
chanting.
let me do it. No. Listen. If I say cat, dog, sugar, butter, hungry, lone, sick, boom, and I'm going boom, 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 boom. How, do you say all of that? Do you say
that's what you're hearing? Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Because when you talk about the confusion is when you talk about missing a word or whatever. How, are you?
Okay.
Yes, for me. Dummy it down.
Okay, here we go. Hold on.
Come on, dummy it down. He's gonna go get his book
something to help you.
For the.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, you didn't get your book.
There we go.
He got cooter.
There we go. All right. Let's say this is Scooter's first ghost hunt. Scooter, have you ever been on a No, never.
Cooter has never been
Scooter,
on.
have you ever done a spirit box? No, never. You don't even. No spirit box. Never. Okay. So Scooter, here's what happens. Scooter.
What happens?
Now, if you were sitting there, Scooter, with me, and I had the spirit box app running, you're going to hear a lot of words, because it's the radio. Understand radio? If it's going, you do. Okay, you're ahead of that one. Okay.
Don't look at me, Scooter.
Okay, Scooter. So, Scooter, now the words are coming through fast. People are hearing the words fast. So, somebody asked the question, Scooter, like, "Did you work at the mine?" Right, Scooter? And all of a sudden, all these words start coming through. Baby bath, blah, 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 blah. They're listening so hard at every word coming through, got it? That they may miss that one word in the middle there that says driller. Because they're listening
you're
for
drilling,
all
right.
Do you understand, Scooter?
You're drilling.
That wasn't so hard, right?
Oh yeah.
No, you could do this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you, Scooter.
Stop calling him Scooter. It's Cooter.
So Scooter got it. It only took Scooter 2-3 minutes.
Listen, I'm just saying, and I'm always going to do this. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm not going to we're going to have these conversations and you just say blissfully that this is the way it is and that's how it is. You got to play it out and as if it's completely novice and don't understand anything.
I believe in all teaching aids, Kevin. If I could teach using all of the instruments at my disposal, there are times when you have to deal with people where you just can't get the message through. If anything, Sesame Street taught me as a young child, and my kids watch Sesame Street. I would find that they learned easier. Where if Oscar the Grouch had a spirit box or a REM pod, that it may help in these situations.
I think I need to find a very, very unique puppet for me.
That's just me.
You hear that, right?
I mean,
I know you like to talk over what I'm saying, Sarah, but I think I need to get a special puppet myself. You know what I mean? I do. I really do.
But that's really the gist of what I'm saying is that when you're not exposed to these things,
sure.
Especially when it's not the app that there are spirit boxes out there that are wonderful, and I wish I could afford the really, really good ones that it's just one word and it echoes and it's clear and everybody hears it. But when you're using something like what he uses and you're using the Echo Box, there's no filter at all.
No, so that's a lot coming at you.
Straight. It's frequency, radio. It's like in our day. Hold on, let me. Scooter might not get this.
You're gonna bring back Cooter.
Now it's like in our day, Scooter. We had televisions where you had to, believe it or not, turn the dial. Like instead of like a remote control. Yes, Scooter. Wait. Yeah, really, for real. You had to turn. No, I'm not kidding. You had to turn the dial. And if you were to keep turning the dial quickly, you would get a word. Yeah. Same thing with it. There's no filter. It's just, and I'm watching people do these sessions, and because I've done them before, I'm hearing the relevant words. And Dalen's saying to me, it said this, and I said, I heard that. But I know probably the majority of the room, in some cases, I'm not assuming that everyone, but they missed it because it was quick in between some words that really weren't relevant to what he was asking.
I get that. Good. Do you get? If that was clear and concise, right? I threw myself under the bus, but hey.
Scooter wants to shake your hand for getting it. Get Scooter.
No, they're
You
all
learn-
talking about having a sock
shake,
hop,
shake
right? She wants
Scooter's
and needs
hand.
a sock hop. I'm not shaking nothing.
You understand
You
now?
shake him.
Okay.
Yes, Chris has to get a puppet now. You know, we'll have a talk off with our puppets. The paranormal.
I feel like I accomplished a lot here, and
You
Scooter,
did, didn't
Scooter
you?
definitely,
And you talked to
definitely
two.
helped.
You talked to two dummies.
Wait till we're working with somebody. God, I wish I could remember her name. So I could give her company a plug. I can't remember, but we're working with somebody on releasing merchandise again, and John, who follows us and wears all the New Jersey paranormal stuff, met his family several times. Good people.
Very good people.
There is going to be print on demand again, so the website will be. I'll get the link soon. So, New Jersey Paranormal shirts, hats. What do you call the sleeveless ones that the ladies wear? We used to call
I
them
just
something
like you
else.
doing what you're doing.
What do you call them? The
Tanks?
Yeah, tank tops. Tank tops. There'll be tank tops, t-shirts, hoodies, and hats to start with. And I think the sizes go all from small all the way up to 4X. I mean,
Really?
she's really so. So New Jersey Paranormal merchandise will be available again very, very soon, and I need a hat.
We have been there.
I
Nancy.
need another shirt. I need merch.
You need.
I need to represent.
And
I want to get one made for Scooter because he's already paid for himself. I don't know how many times over, so he deserves.
So John was doing a litany today of those that he would drop everything and run to, and I said, and he said, and of course you, and I said, okay, so I'm last on your list, and then he goes like this, he goes, well, no, you're up there too, but he said like A1, A2.
No, I said my kids would be 1 and 2. My daughter and my son, Walter, would be 3. And you said, well, I'm 4. And I said, well, no, you're 3A. You put right there with Walter. I love Walter. You know that.
Do you hear this? Do you hear this?
Paranormal Single bobblehead. Again,
I like what Luann said. Can we get an NJP cooter? They want to get a cooter.
They're not following your name for him. They're calling him Scooter.
He's Cooter.
Because they know the value of him.
No.
So they're not going to mock him.
There is no value.
Like
it's
you are.
Cooter. I'm going to say Cooter.
I love my hoodie. I have my hoodie. That's the only thing that I have that's still, although my shirt's pretty good shape still. But yeah, all that stuff is going to be available soon. It'll be we'll post it on.
And this is an independent person starting out on a small business, so we're gonna be able to again help someone else build their business while she's helping us do this for everybody who's been asking us for merchandise. So again, and this is all from, just like with everything else that ends up happening with New Jersey Paranormal and with John and I and you guys, it's all through people watching, people connecting, and she reached out to us.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
And everything is going to be black to start with the yellow and red lettering. But I mean, eventually there'll be different colors offered. She told me all the different colors.
Oh,
maybe Heather. Scooter, I can definitely see Scooter rocking the Sweeto for the summer. But so I mean, it'll be cool to have the merchandise back out there again. We do things like, we're going to the bash, hopefully, in a few weeks, depending on what happens with Walter. And Walter's probably going to have surgery and chemo. So I don't know, whatever, depending on what happens with Walter, we should be at the bash that weekend. But we don't sell any merch or anything. It's just the two of us at the table.
Yep.
And that's all we do is just hang out and talk to people and have a great time and enjoy Gettysburg when we're there. So, the merch won't be there, but, you will have the ability to buy merch. Nothing is cooler. I remember several times where we were with special guests, celebrities, whatever you want to call it, and you know, they're like, hey, people are here for me. Hey, and yet the whole entire majority of the crowd is wearing New Jersey Paranormal
The
shirts
hat,
and
the
hats.
tank, yeah,
that
that
was
was
really
pretty
cool. That was when we first.
You and I looked out in the crowd. Yeah, we looked out in the crowd. We're just like, what's wrong with this picture? And they all had a.
Hey,
oh
Alex.
my God! What about Tracy and Patricia wearing our logos and our shirts while they were out on vacation over in Ireland?
Alex, you might want to go back and watch. About 10 minutes ago, I gave you I gave everyone a really good lesson on apps and Spirit Box, and Scooter was very helpful. Trying to, it was hard
they were trying to
it was
educate me.
it was really hard to get through to some people sometimes, so you need visual aids and you need things to explain it. So Scooter came out, and lo and behold, we got it
Yes.
done. We did get it done.
If you ever consider writing your own book on the best NJP investigations, that would be cool.
I don't know.
Are you trying to give us more work, Laura?
That's something like I wouldn't want to do that. Like if Chris did that, I wouldn't mind, or somebody else did that, I wouldn't mind. I've written a book. It took me 2 years plus, and I know what that process is like, and I know that everybody does it. So for me, it's like, I don't know. Do I need to do that? I'd rather talk about it here and just discuss all the different things than put a book out and charge people. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not real big on that. I got in trouble for doing a book signing for my book. My book isn't about ghosts or anything or spirits. It's about it's a fiction book about a boy that's born with the ability to heal, and his father is abusive, and his mother's being abused, and it's a whole like religious thing. And anyway, but that's the book that I wrote. And when I first wrote it, I got invited to do a local author book signing at Clark Library, and I was next to this other woman who's involved in the paranormal, and she was right next to me, and I was giving my book away because they were supposed to be selling it and signing it. And I'm like, if people are cool enough to drive all the way here from wherever,
so too,
and they were interested in my book, it's my book. I had boxes of copies. I'm giving them to them. I'm like, thanks for, let me know how you think. Leave a great review, and I'd sign it and I'd give it. And she's, you're not supposed to be giving your books away. You're supposed to be selling them. I said, they're my books. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do with them. And you're pretty quiet the rest of the day on that end of the library.
Dang you!
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. But again, back to the paranormal stuff. I do find it fascinating that people have different methods and different styles and different ideas and different theories. Dalen got into more. I did write a book.
We'll get you a copy, Alex.
2012, I wrote a book. The editing, I'm not the best writer in the world as far as like punctuation and sentence structure. And
your girl helped you, but you ignored hers.
But I think it's a good story with good characters at the very least.
I think your book is excellent, and I'm an avid reader. And I again, every time you wrote something, and I told you, you're a very harsh critic. When a book can make you feel and draw you into each individual, and they come out off that page and become real in your mind, and you're feeling what's being.
Me too, Alex.
When you're feeling what's being written, are you
going to
keep
it a secret? I don't think I kept it a secret.
Do you see how you can't tell? Say nothing. We're good.
I don't think I kept the secret at all. I just don't talk about it much. Something I did, and that was that. But I'm not a reader either. I mean, she's a huge reader. She's an avid reader.
Oh, someone's here?
Me? I'm audio. I'll listen to audiobooks in the shower. But that's about it. Somebody's here? Yes.
Okay.
I know you're taking it all in. You're trying to.
I was
You're
saying
trying to
something,
absorb
and he went.
the lesson from Scooter,
He went.
and you'll get there.
No,
You'll get there. Don't worry.
his book is amazing,
But
and
anyway,
it is a good book.
we were going back again, revisiting the whole Dalen, um, doing the things that he does on graveyard shift and working with families and everything. And you know, people have their opinions of that, and we talked about that during the interview. And if you didn't see it, you should go back and watch that interview again, because Dalen tells his story. He does. I mean, Dalen is, to his credit, Dalen is not shy about saying, we just wanted to get on TV for Ghost Brothers. We saw that there were no, in his words, there were no black people in the paranormal field on TV, so we got together and made a video. He'll be honest, and I love that about him, because he literally says, when you watch that second episode of Ghost Brothers, that was literally like our first
It was
being in a dark building
Laura,
and doing
if you don't
this
have
stuff.
one of John's book, I have a few copies. I'll make sure he signs it, and we'll get you one too.
Well, again, it's not that type of book. So if you're looking for paranormal stuff, it's not that. But anyway, um, and he's very honest, and he talks about what he does and how he does it, and the families and the people he's worked with. And him and I were talking about him and I were talking about, I remember, and I'll never mention the name of this person, but I remember, it's fairly recent, I would say in the last 5-6 years, there was a person in the field who literally went to an area where a person, I won't mention female, male, was assaulted and murdered. And it was still kind of a, nobody was arrested yet type of thing.
It was too fresh.
They were still looking into suspects. There were no arrests made, and this person went to the area where the body was found and did like spirit box and other things, and we're coming up with. Now again, the logical part of my brain says, okay, psychic detectives or whatever kind of do the same thing. What's the difference when a paranormal investigator does that using the tools that researchers and investigators use? There really is no difference in theory. But if you want to do that privately and share that information with the police and the family, great. But to stream that and put that video on YouTube and whatever, some would say that that's bringing awareness to it as well. I get that. But me personally, no, not the day or two after it happened, and people are still dealing with. I wouldn't do it.
Well, what if the
and
information?
Dalen kind of said the same thing. It's like.
And what if the information was misinterpreted, and it goes in a different direction than where it's supposed to? There's all kinds of things,
But again, if you want to bring that to the police or the family and say, hey, look, I did this. Here's the video. Watch it. Do what you will with this. That's one thing, but to get clicks and likes and views off of that is kind of
it's ambulance chasing.
Yeah, and Dalen was saying the same thing, because we were talking about what he does and how he does it, and he does get the approval of the family members. They participate with him in these sessions that he does, and it is different. I mean, the celebrity stuff is kind of weird to me. But again, the logical part of my brain could see that as a researcher and investigator, but I don't know if I would ever sit by Kurt Cobain's grave and try to do a spirit box session with him or EVP session. Again, I could see the relevance of it.
So if you were given, if somebody reached out to you today and said, "Hey, John, We're going over to Kurt Cobain. We've got permission to do this. Would you like to go?"
Nope.
Even why?
Because I way too much respect for the guy, and
you feel.
And I know his daughter is still.
So there's a personal connection to why you wouldn't want to do it, as far as.
Whether it was him or not, any family.
How about
I wouldn't do what he does. What Dan
I wouldn't do that either.
I wouldn't do it.
but that's because I couldn't handle it on so many levels. What about if it's somebody who died 200 years ago?
Well, again, we
That's
talked about
famous.
this. It's
But it's just
I
because
still
it's
wouldn't do it.
still
I'm not. I mean, it all depends on who it is and where it is and what happened. I guess yeah, if it was a long time ago, probably, but not if it was still.
yeah, I wouldn't do. I
Like I
couldn't.
said, I don't.
Because I wouldn't want someone to do it with my daughter.
I'm not saying that Dalen has willing participants. The
He
family
does.
signs off on it. The friends
does.
sign off on it. So it's
He does
not
his
something
he does his due diligence.
he's just doing. But even with that, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't because
I couldn't handle emotionally.
I couldn't. It's the emotional part of it, and I'd be afraid I'd make it worse somehow, or I would not be giving them what you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff involved in that. But that's again, he's figuring it out. He's doing it his way. He's navigating it, and
But
he's caring. He doesn't approach it from an insensitive standpoint.
Yeah.
He tries to be there for these people, and
well, you
so
can see you can see that there's compassion, there's
That's
feeling,
what I'm
there's
saying.
emotion behind that. That
it's not exploitative.
No, it's not.
He's
No.
really trying to find his, like you said, his purpose in
Yeah.
all of that. So I get it, but I necessarily
I could not take that on, and even if it's bringing answers to the family or it's giving them for me that's the reward part if you can get that reward part. But some of those answers that you might get may be really hard answers that maybe you'd be better off not knowing.
I don't know. But there's somebody watching and they're going to know who they are. But I would never mention the person's name or when we talked about this. But someone approached me. I won't mention any names, but they live in an area where like a murder took place, like right across the street or on their street, and the house was roped off, and it was literally a fresh crime scene still. And this person was talking to me about, hey, wouldn't it be something to go in there, like, and I said to them, look, would it be interesting? Yes, just to see what you get when it just happened, literally that week or the week before. Would I ever release it or tell anyone or anything like that? No, I wouldn't do it for likes. I wouldn't do it live. I wouldn't show a video. I would just want for my own, paranormal researcher part of my brain to know what is that energy like in that building if there's something like that.
It's another piece of the puzzle for the questions that we have.
And are there messages or are there things that linger that are related to that?
I honestly couldn't do that.
I was really, again, I was curious about it. I would have done it in that case, but no, I would have never told anybody. I would have never posted anything about it. It would have just been purely
for yourself
to see what kind of
I understand that part
energy
of it.
that leaves
I understand
behind
that part of it. But me personally, I wouldn't even want to know.
Right.
No way.
But even with everything going on, depending on whether or not the air conditioning is fully functional at the Creeper Gallery, probably not tomorrow night because tomorrow's going to be 100 degrees, I think. Maybe Wednesday night, I'll go back to the Creeper Gallery. I don't know if the princess here will join me. If not, Scooter has a better understanding.
The princess. Because the princess hasn't been busting her hiney.
Scooter here has a pretty old understanding.
I'm telling you.
So
he's a slave driver, people.
I do plan on going back. I need distraction. I need to get out there and do stuff. So I'll probably go there.
I agree with that, Deb.
It's been a few weeks, so I'll probably go back there and see what's new.
If the air works.
Well, even if the air does work, I'm going to be shutting it off during the investigation.
Yeah, but at least it'll be cool. It'll be on to cool it down. I mean,
Friday nights in New Hope is not a place you want to be.
No, that's a tough one.
There'll be people everywhere. There'll be no parking spots, and it'll be even worse. So I do plan on going there because, like I said, I need a distraction. I haven't been there in weeks. I'm sure there's other stuff there that are going to interest me, and I need to stay occupied, especially in times of uncertainty and turmoil and things in my life. I need to stay busy.
More
and
so
occupied.
than usual.
Yeah. So anyway, um, we learned a lot. Scooter helped. So props to Scooter. Scooter.
I learned I'm still invisible.
Scooter.
And I'm not heard.
You're very helpful tonight. You can sign off.
Maybe you should take him to the Creeper Gallery
Take
with
a
you.
bow. I was just saying that.
Right, and he can hold the camera for you, and he can help you do the setup.
Again,
and he can
show me another
can move
paranormal
stuff and,
live stream that has a puppet. Show me one. I defy you to do that. Show them. And if they don't, they're going to have them all.
Someone would say, "I am your puppet."
Someone's going to do it next week and the week after now because Scooter has.
Oh, puppets
Scooter
everywhere through the paranormal will be coming out shortly.
Scooter is officially like Ghost Hunters. He broke through. He's the pioneer.
I think the only one
of puppets
that does that at all is Dustin Perry. Doesn't he have something? Doesn't he have his own little guy?
He's got Herman, but Herman doesn't investigate or anything.
No, Herman doesn't do anything. He's just somebody,
Puppet Paranormal. You heard it here first. If anybody steals it out there, it's copywritten already by me on this video.
Go and watch Scooter's Learning Channel.
Thank you, Alex. Alex is going to partner with me. You are going to see investigations with just Scooter on the New Jersey Paranormal.
Help us, Father.
The only thing that Scooter won't do, I can tell you, is every time there's a little creak or crack somewhere, he won't go, oh! That Scooter won't do. That is specifically.
And Scooter won't help set up.
One person.
Scooter won't carry
one
stuff.
Person only.
And Scooter won't take care of him, but that's all right.
Anyway.
John can take care of Scooter.
Tomorrow night or Wednesday night from the Creeper Gallery, and we are setting up. I don't want to butcher her name, Gia, QIA, okay, Gia, okay, but she's gonna eventually join us with her, what they call soul bathing, something like that. But when you have the bowls and you do the music thing, I told you that I was gonna do with her.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, I thought you knew because you're into all that.
Am I?
And then Judy Hartke is going to come back on because Judy wrote a book, Twin Flames type of book. She wrote a book, and she's going to do another past lives / artist rendition thing. We haven't done one of those in a while.
No, I am very
sound
curious.
bath. Thank you.
There you go. I'm very, very curious to hear about her book. It sounds interesting. I know you've already said to you it sounds like it, but I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear from her perspective what this book is about couples and connections and stuff.
Yes.
I know.
Singing bowls.
Because we don't have a connection.
I need a sound bath.
I think John needs a sound bath. That's what he needs.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your support as always. The tickets are available for Speaking of the Mind, Katrina. Ooh, from yes. Portals to Hell, Paranormal Lockdown, Paranormal State. Katrina will be joining us August 2nd at the Mine. Her first time there, our first time.
I heard she's very engaging when she does her. She dives right into doing investigations too.
So meet and greet with her, Q&A with her, and then the 4-hour ghost hunt with Katrina and New Jersey Paranormal. Tickets are on sale. I actually have Eventbrite, so you don't have to go through emailing New Jersey Paranormal anymore. Just click on the link and order your tickets right through Eventbrite on the Facebook page. All right,
guys.
Have a
good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And please, please, and keep trying to teach us to John, remember to be kind to each other. It makes all the difference in the world.
And remember,
good night.
Puppets are people too.